Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today I want to talk about Season 4. It's coming up on August 2nd, just a couple of weeks left. So I want to talk about things that you may want to prep and things that you need to know that are going to change, because there's going to be big changes coming to Mythic Plus and rating that we've never really seen here before. This is kind of a new experiment that Blizzard is doing with Season 4, so I want to break everything down that's kind of changing, what you need to know, and all of that fun stuff. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. It goes such a long way to helping out the channel, and I'm hugely appreciative of all the support that's been given so far. There is a Discord link down below if you'd like to ask any questions about anything you see here. As well, you can catch me live on Twitch. That's down below as well, and if you'd like to support me directly, there is a Patreon link down below with lots of fun goodies there, and any add-ons, LVI profiles, or weak auras that you see are available in the Discord link down below. So, let's get started. We are going to start with the changes to Mythic Plus first. So, in Season 4 of Mythic Plus, the original 8 Shadowlands dungeons are not going to be a part of the rotation at all. The only 2 that are remaining are the 2 Tazavesh dungeons. So if you don't have your portals yet, you have, as of recording this on July 10th, you have 3 more weeks to get all of your portals that you need for the original 8 Shadowlands dungeons before they are gone forever. With Season 4 comes a new Keystone Master. So there is going to be a new Keystone Master mount. You're going to want to do that, and by doing that, you're going to have to complete get the X amount of rating that you need. I think it's going back down to 2K based on there only being 8 dungeons. Those 8 dungeons are going to be a little bit different in our Season 4 of Shadowlands, because we're going to have the 2 Tazavesh dungeons, we're getting the 2 Mechagon dungeons from BFA, the 2 Karazhan dungeons from Legion, and the community-voted Grim Depot and Iron Docks from Warlords of Draenor. Now, upon Season 4 launch, there's going to be portals to go directly to those, so you don't have to necessarily fly out to Legion just to be able to get into your Mythic Plus dungeons. There's going to be some portals and Ouroboros for quick travel for you to get there. Now, completing those dungeons at a 20, I'm assuming that the Mechagon and the Legion ones are going to work the same as the current Tazavesh, where you need to time a 20 on both versions, so Upper and Lower Kara, both Mechagons and both Tazavesh, to be able to get your one portal to the same place, right? So if you're time 120 and you're wondering why you don't have a portal, you might have to time the other on a 20 as well to be able to get that portal. With a new season comes a new seasonal affix. Yes, we are saying bye to Encrypted. I am actually very sad about this. I really, really like Encrypted, and keys have been just incredibly fun all season, but we're saying goodbye to our wonderful buff, and we're getting a new buff called Shrouded. Now, what Shrouded is at the start of the dungeon, you will get the Automa, one of the dealer people, that will give you a bounty, and you get to choose which bounty you want. Haste, crit, mastery, or versatility. What that is obviously going to be heavily dependent on your class. So, crit and haste will give you a 2% stacking buff each. Mastery is going to give you 69. Nice. And versatility is going to give you a 1% buff. And how you gain these buff is throughout the dungeons, once you reach Keystone levels 10 or above, to access the seasonal affix. There are going to be Dreadlords that are going to be hidden within mobs. I think they have a little purple aura or whatever have you not. You kill the Dreadlords, you gain a buff, and there's 1 mini boss per dungeon, which will give you 6, I think it's 6, 3 or 6, sorry, 3. 3 of those buffs. And they all stack, so at the end of the dungeon you have, if you've picked haste, you'll have almost a permanent bloodlust. Because there are, I think it's in the double digits. I think it's between 20 and 25 per dungeon of these Dreadlords that you can kill and gain these buffs. So it's a little bit more boring than Encrypted, and your power level is going to start slower and then kind of creep upwards to being very overpowered by the end of the dungeon. So as we're kind of going through the motions of this new seasonal affix, you're going to notice that you're going to feel a lot weaker at the beginning of the dungeon, and then by the end of the dungeon, you're basically going to be a god, no matter what stat you chose. I think most tanks are going to choose versatility, but in lower dungeons, I know, for example, on my warrior, I'm probably going to go with haste in 15s, just because I don't necessarily, like, the versatility is nice, but if I don't need the survivability, just having a permanent bloodlust all the time would be very, very fun, but we're going to see exactly how that works out. So that is Season 4 for Mythic Plus. That's pretty much everything you need to know, aside from the fact that because we are losing those 8 dungeons for Shadowlands, what sort of prep do you need to do for Mythic Plus? Well, because we are losing the 8 Shadowlands original dungeons, any trinkets that you might want out of there, for example, a blood scale, if you don't have that yet, and if you want one, you don't necessarily need one, but if you want a trinket or something like that to carry forward at a higher item level, for example, I think at 272 and 278, a blood scale is still going to be very good coming up. I don't think it's going to be all around, like, the Abyss or whatever have you not, but it's still going to be very good if you want one. You're going to have to farm that out and, either upgrade it with Valor or hopefully get really lucky in your vault, because while the dungeons are going to remain at Mythic 0, you can still go in them and do them at a Mythic 0 without a keystone, you cannot upgrade any of those 8 dungeons gear with Valor. Now, Valor. We're starting off Season 4 with uncapped Valor. Yep, no 750 cap, nothing like that. Whatever you get, you just keep on going. Very nice change. Love to see it. Just all around fantastic. Uncapped Valor is just absolutely wonderful. So lots of good stuff there. Now, part 2, raiding. What's going to be different with raiding in Season 4 of Shadowlands? Well, we're going to be getting all 3 of the raids back, except they're going to be on a rotating basis as per the Faded affix. We're getting an affix that's going to be added into the raid, and fight to fight, there's kind of different things that are going to change about the affix. It's basically a kiss curse thing. Most of them are kill a thing, gain some sort of buff, makes the fights easier, move along. What those all are, we're not 100% sure yet. That's kind of going to be discovered. There's a couple of the affixes that have been shown in PTR, but whether those are going to go live or not, I don't know, so I don't want to go too deep into them because they might not be accurate, but there's going to be an affix tied to the raid. Now, the raid is going to have that Faded affix on a rotating basis, so we're going to start off with Castle Nathria, Sanctum of Domination, then Sepulchre of the First Ones, week to week. So, week 1 is going to be Castle Nathria. You can go in, get your new item level loot. I think it's 278 to 304, based on LFR to Mythic, or 265 to 304, but we are getting a nice item level bump from these raids. So, you're going to want to go in and do them, but there's going to be a quest that's going to be given to you, that once you complete X amount of individual boss kills, you can't just go in and farm the one easy, like you can't just go in and fight Terragru 30 times to get it, but you need to kill individual bosses, and your first one, now I think as of the PTR, it's you have to kill 30 bosses, and then 20, then 10. You get to complete this quest 3 times. For every time that you complete the quest, you get to go to one of the new raid vendors that are in Oribos, which sell trinkets and weapons. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try and kill all of these bosses on any difficulty. For this quest, you can do it on any difficulty. So let's say you plow through normal and your group disbands on the last boss just due to time constraints or just whatever have you not. You can queue for LFR, kill the last boss, and still get credit for the quest. You do not need to do it at any set difficulty. You can do it entirely on LFR if you want. It's your choice. The raid vendors are going to sell normal item level loot from the raid, which you can then upgrade through a process of gaining heroic and mythic kills in said Faded raids. So you can't go into Faded Nathria, get some stuff, and then go into Sepulchre the same week and expect to get that same heroic item that you need to upgrade. It's strictly based on what is Faded for the week, because it is going to be rotating. So you're going to want to kind of work off, you're going to want to get the items that are harder to get. Last boss items tend to be like an Old Warrior Soul, Jathis, Gavel are the ones that quickly come to mind. You might not want to do like, might not, because you only get 3 of them, right? If it's a first boss item that you want. You might not want it. You might want to kind of wait for it. I don't know. Up to you. That's your decision to make, but you're going to be able to get 3. I know for me, I'm very excited to get a gavel on my Death Knight. I'm very excited to get an old warrior soul on my Death Knight and on my warrior. Lots of fun things to get with these raid vendors, and I really, really like them. And like I said earlier, those items are going to be upgradable. So by getting those heroic and mythic kills, you're going to get an item that you can take those faded items you bought and upgrade them up to mythic quality. Very nice quality of life there. Love it to death. Now, don't think that you have to clear all of the raid on all of your toons like that faded week. There is going to be a catch-up version of this quest for alts and things like that, so then that way you can get those items quicker from the vendor without having to wait the full 3 weeks for the rotation to come back for you to kill some stuff. The number of kills is going to be less and less per individual boss as time goes on. So very nice quality of life there as well. Love seeing it. The world boss. Lastly, about the raids. AOTC and Cutting Edge are going away and are not coming back. So you're not going to be able to get ahead of the curve or Cutting Edge on Nathria, for example. And you only have 3 weeks left to get either Cutting Edge or ahead of the curve in Sepulcher of the first one. So this is going to be something that you're probably going to want to kind of try and get very, very quickly. Although the mounts that come from Heroic Jailer, Mythic Jailer, and Mythic Sylvanas are remaining in the game in Season 4. So you can still collect the mounts, but you cannot get the ahead of the curve, or Cutting Edge achievements. These are also going to be affected by this faded raid. So for example, on week 1, Castle Nathria, whatever world boss is up for the open world ones between Maldraxxus, Revendreth, Ardenweald, and Bastion, that world boss is going to be faded. So he's going to be more difficult. He's going to have part of that little mini affix system, but they're also going to drop that higher item level loot. So the world bosses are going to be relevant again. So on faded Nathria weeks, you're going to want to go to the open world 4 Covenant zones and kill whatever world boss is up. You're going to want to kill Morgeth for Sanctum of Domination and Antros for when it's Sepulcher of the first ones. You're going to want to do this higher item level loot. Always nice to see. And it's nice to see that the world bosses are going to become relevant again. Now, final kind of thoughts on this. Do I think it's going to be a much more difficult season for raiding? No. I actually think the raids are probably going to be easier than they were when they were live. Honestly believe that. Tier sets are staying. The gem system in Sanctum of Domination is not going to be a thing. They are deactivated for the entire expansion, so you're going to want to have your tier sets. And I mean, going into tier sets into Nathria and Sanctum of Domination is going to change a lot of things about the fight. And I think just the general power buffs that we had, right? We have 2 legendaries now where we didn't in Sanctum. We have tier sets, which we didn't in Nathria and Sanctum, and all of this fun stuff that's going to make things a lot easier. And the faded raid affix should make things a lot easier as well with the little kiss curse thing and make it a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a loot pinata type season that's just going to be a blast. So with that, that is pretty much everything you need to know about Season 4 for raiding and Mythic Plus. Go out there, get your Keystone Heroes, get your Keystone Masters, get those weapons you want, because I'm so excited to be able to get a Jathis, to be able to get a Gavel, to be able to get the trinkets that I want, like an old warrior soul. Man, I farmed that so much on my warrior and never ever got it. So that's going to be one of the things that I'm going for first. I am going to make a video of what I'm going to choose on all 6 of my tanks, but it is what it is. So with that, thank you very much. If you have any questions about this at all, like I said, you can talk to me on Twitch, you can talk to me in Discord, and I would love to hear any feedback. Are you excited for Season 4? Are you not going to be raiding for Season 4 or anything like that? Or are you going to be going full tilt like I am? I mean, I basically play this game full time, right? So that's what it is. But aside from that, please like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys to death. Have yourselves a good one. Bye.